When Escape a Tsunami for Brainrots was crowned the most popular game on Roblox, not many people actually cared. But why? Looking into it, this is one of the most unoriginal Roblox games I have ever played. Seriously, I couldn't find a single idea from this game that wasn't just taken from something else. And if you've lingered on this platform for a while, you might have noticed that over the course of a few years, the charts have slowly been getting taken over by these unimaginative games. We've gotten up to a point where it has become increasingly hard to find passionate and original projects on here. So I wanted to get to the bottom of this. Why do unoriginal Roblox games get so popular? Before we start off, I feel I should give a quick rundown on how Roblox's algorithm works, as that's what most developers rely on to get their game popular. Surprisingly enough, it works very differently compared to the other applications like the ones shown on screen. Roblox recommends games based on 4 principles. First is click-through rate. Click-through rate is pretty easy to understand. It's just how many people would decide to play your game if they see it. This could be through an ad, link, whatever. If this factor was a piggy chapter, it would be gallery. It really doesn't matter that much compared to the other 3. Second is retention. This is how long the player stays in your game. 10 to 15 minutes on average is a spot most casual games usually fall in, while games that keep players in for longer usually do the best. This is why games that have an AFK system will take ages to peak get an upper hand in the algorithm. Third is engagement, which is how invested your players are. This comes in the forms of favorites, likes, and times people rejoin a week. Developers usually abuse this in the form of daily rewards or some sort of grind system. And last but not least, we have monetization. Monetization is pretty complicated, but to explain it simply, it's the amount of money your game generates, whether it be through premium payouts or game passes. A lot of games nowadays seem to be focusing a lot less on monetization and seem to be going for the other 3. And good for them too, because we've learned that over monetization never ends well in Roblox games. So with that being said, let's look at some successful unoriginal Roblox games and see how they correlate, because this will be important later. Let's have a look at this game, Steal a Brain Rot by Spider Sammy. This is probably one of, if not the highest grossing Roblox game of all time, earning over $1 million in revenue. And you can probably assume everything here is stolen work. The entire concept of Steal a Brain Rot was taken from another game, Steal a Character, and it still managed to be one of the most successful Roblox games of all time. Also, this is the 3rd time I've covered this game on the channel, believe it or not. Nothing to do with the video, I just thought to point it out. I think Bed Wars is also a pretty no-brainer here. I'm sure all of you are aware of the massive craze this game had in 2022. This was like the new Arsenal to some people. I know it's really obvious, but this is genuinely just Minecraft Bed Wars. It's almost a complete ground-up recreation of the original just in Roblox. To the goal of the player and down to the name, like at least try to hide it. Something I will give Bed Wars credit for though is expounding on the initial idea of Bed Wars with things like classes, unique items, etc. But that doesn't change the fact that this game is just stolen, alright? And what confuses me even more is that during the big Bed Wars craze, no one even complained that this game was stolen, they just ate it up. Here's another one, Piggy when it first came out. This is pretty ground knowledge, but the whole gameplay loop of Piggy is pretty much a simplified version of the 2017 classic Granny, combined with 2020 viral sensation Peppa Pig. And wouldn't you know it, Piggy was the most popular Roblox game for that year. And you know what? Good for Minitoon. But you know what the strange thing is? When Book 2 released and Piggy began straying away from being an unoriginal Granny copy, the game actually got less popular. Yes, the moment Piggy began getting original and becoming less of a copy of another game, it got less popular. That to me seems pretty interesting. I can go on and on about how many popular unoriginal Roblox games there are, but if I did, we'd be here all day, so I think it's time to get to the bottom of what caused this popularity in the first place. As for why people like these, the answer is pretty straightforward. Roblox players like simple things. That's it. A pattern you'll begin to notice with the popular games on Roblox is just how easy they are to learn, man. Some games even have the whole gameplay loop summarized in their title, which is actually kind of smart if I'm being honest. Heck! Brookhaven is the most visited game on Roblox, and it's so simple, it's just nothing. There is no objective or goal or anything given to the player. It's basically just a map. Something we do need to keep in mind is that this is a platform catered towards kids. If we're being realistic, no child actually wants to spend time learning a core gameplay mechanic for more than 1 minute, because learning is boring. And whenever a developer uses an already existing concept for the game, new players don't even need to learn it at all because they've already seen it a dozen times over. This removes the thing that gets most new players to completely drop your game, actually learning core gameplay mechanics, because they know how to get inside your head. This is the quickest and easiest way to get players to learn your game, because there is no tutorial. You are expected to already be familiar with the source material the game was stolen from. If things look familiar, people will feel a lot more inclined to try it because it's already a field they're comfortable in. Let's take the previously mentioned Bed Wars for example. I'm sure 90% of the Roblox players who played this game have seen at least some gameplay of the original, so they didn't even need to learn it when they hopped onto the Roblox version. And what's better is that Roblox is free and Minecraft isn't, so it's really a win-win here. Let's say you're scrolling on the Roblox homepage and come across two games that catch your eye. One is a completely original project with mechanics and ideas you've never seen before, and the other is a version of something you already recognize and enjoy. Maybe it's Resident Evil Requiem or something. Chances are that the average player will gravitate towards the unoriginal one because it has ideas and mechanics they're already familiar with. Even I've fallen into this trap before because of how easy it is to play a game on Roblox rather than to download it on itch or Steam. And it's even easier for the developers too. They don't even need to think of anything unique. They can just copy someone else's homework, add a new coat of paint, and then they just get all the revenue. Stealing from actual good games too also favors you in terms of popularity because those likely also follow the 4 principles of Roblox's algorithm. So really, why wouldn't you steal games? It's less thinking for the developer, less thinking for the players, boosts your game in the algorithm, and makes you bucket loads of cash too. It is technically illegal if you do this to a game that costs money, but it's not like Roblox has a good moderation team either. The only person that gets hurt when this is done is the developer. Stealing games does nothing but hinder your creative freedom as a game maker. But that doesn't really matter if you're making money now, does it? Ironically enough, making original Roblox games can actually be a bad thing if you do want to make a profit. If a developer is trying to be more original or isn't heavily basing it off a well-known formula, then there's a high chance that users will just not want to play it. And since fewer people don't recognize the concept, no one clicks on it either. Let's refer back to the 4 principles of the algorithm I mentioned earlier. At the cost of making an original Roblox game, that's retention, engagement, and click-through rate mostly gone. Okay, maybe not engagement so much, but do you get my point? This is less on Roblox as well, but more so the young fanbase the platform inhabits, but this is just sad, man. Original Roblox developers are by default fighting an uphill battle just to get seen by the algorithm purely due to its nature. And mind you, games that copy other ideas have a built-in advantage that keeps retention, click-through rate, and engagement all at once just for being familiar. Although Roblox is growing as a platform every day, the platforms that go alongside it kind of just aren't. Like, there are millions of games on this platform, and thanks to Roblox's player base, they will just eat up the games like this. I don't really like calling things slop because at the end of the day, there are people that put hours of their time into making these, and it's just really a negative mindset to have in general, but you can tell some of these games have zero passion put into it. And the fact that Roblox themselves aren't doing anything to get creative passion projects onto the front page is honestly kind of disgusting, considering that their motto literally is powering creativity. It really does suck that Roblox doesn't have a proper recommendation system, and I really hope they consider adding one. Come to think of it, no one actually benefits from these unoriginal games. Players learn nothing new, the developers learn nothing new either, the platform's homepage gets worse, and if it gets popular enough, it spreads like the plague. The truth is that Roblox doesn't care about the quality of their games. If your game isn't piss easy or not making them lots of money, I'm gonna be honest, you're better off making games on Steam. Grow a Garden and Steel Brain almost won all of their awards in the Innovation Awards. That is saying something. Due to how Roblox's algorithm works, it takes general player statistics more into account and less into player reception or feedback. Games only really need to follow the 4 principles to get their game popular rather than being good games. And if I'm being completely honest, I don't really like that all too much. I hope you all enjoyed my rambling, and everyone needs to hop back on Steal a Piggy. They just got a big new update. Oh my day.